Police officials investigating the circumstances surrounding a suspected drowning. Valeria making changes to its terminal at Port Everglades. And a message to moms who have passed on.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Roll-Farquharson. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news this evening, the body of a man pulled from waters off Port of Call Drive in Bahamas Terrace last night. Police say at this point, the man's death is being classified as a suspected drowning. Megan Shepard has the details.
Police on ground in Bahamas investigating the circumstances surrounding the discovery of a submerged white truck in waters off Port of Call Drive on Tuesday evening. Reports are that shortly after 9 p.m., police received calls regarding the incident. Now, it is also reported that police officers attached to the Marine Dive Unit discovered one male body in the waters.
Our officer responded where we met a white vehicle, a truck, gas-and truck, submerged in water. Officers later went into the water where we was able to find a dark male, lifeless in the water. At this point, we'll be taken to the hospital where doctors will check him, probably pronounce him dead, and identification would be held to find out his identity, and later autopsy will be performed to see what the cause of death.
Acting officer in charge of the Central Detective Unit, Detective ASP Darrell Ware, says that it was still unclear whether or not the victim was alone, but he notes that officers of the police marine section conducted searches throughout the canal and no other persons were discovered. Now, shortly after 12 a.m., a hearse arrived to transport the body from the scene. Officers, along with assistance from a private vessel and crew, then hoisted the vehicle out of the water for further inspection. ASP Ware says that an autopsy will be conducted. Investigations are continuing into this matter. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
In other news, police are also investigating an alleged attack on a teacher at the 8 Mile Rock High School. The incident reportedly took place on campus last Thursday. Jamila Mizik has that report.
A regular workday turned into a nightmare after a school teacher was brutally attacked and robbed here on the 8 Mile Rock High School campus. Principal Chester Cooper says on the morning of the incident, he received a call after 7 a.m. indicating that a teacher was robbed and badly beaten on the campus. He says she was in the tuck shop when she heard a knock on the door. She opened it, and that's when she was attacked by a masked man who also took her handbag.
This is the first time that an incident like this occurred. It's an eye-opener for all of us as to what could possibly occur. The assailant was so brave because at that time we had personnel on campus. We had a few of our janitorial staff. We have two of our security officers here as well. And they were in the front area of the campus. So for a young man or a person to do that, yeah, he's very brave.
Now, Mr. Cooper says the situation was most unfortunate and they're looking at ways to increase security measures on the campus.
One of the things we're looking at now specifically is our perimeter fencing. A lot of our fences are down. We're trying to get repaired for a while around most of the campus. Our fencing with some barbed wires to prevent a person from jumping the wall or jumping the fence in the back. It's an open campus, so like I said, a lot of little areas that we need to improve as far as some security purposes.
Bahamas Union of Teachers Area Vice President Quintin LaRota says the union is working to assist the victim. He is, however, asking for more police presence in the area and for community assistance as well.
We cannot have people from the community coming into the school, either damaging the school or assaulting or robbing or defaming the compound or the teachers or the students in any way. I'm not saying that the individuals from the 8 Mile Rock community, but I'm asking the 8 Mile Rock community to do all they can to assist us in protecting the school. We should treat the school as sacred. It's an institution that serves as an avenue to give the citizens of that part of the island an opportunity to excel and to improve, to be educated. And I am just hoping that the individual is caught, and anybody in the community who have any information that they could give it out.
At last report, police were still looking for the suspect. The teacher involved is still recovering. Jamila Mizik, ZNS Network News.
In other news, IRCA outlining its responsibility as it relates to the gaming industry. Executives of IRCA giving residents of Grand Bahama an idea of the role of the regulatory body in the expanding gaming sector. Megan Shepard reports.
Director of Communications at Utilities Regulation and Competition Authority, Carlton Smith, noting that what they do within the sector is guided by government policy set to determine particular objectives for 3-year periods. Smith says IRCA then drafts policies according to these objectives. Now, a pressing priority for IRCA is a review of the Code of Practice for Content Regulation as it relates to gaming.
Recently, gaming has been regulated in our country. And gaming potentially can have a damaging effect on people in different ways. And we want to ensure that we have a conversation about advertising for the gaming sector.
Smith adds that IRCA operates in transparency and that they want to have a conversation with the general public on what to do as it relates to advertising for the gaming industry.
The most vulnerable among us when it comes to gaming are children. If they're exposed to the advertising, and we know that gaming is available online and access to gaming platforms are very easy for children. And if they are encouraged to use these platforms, it can have a devastating impact on some of our younger people. And so we want to have a conversation with the public about what do we do about advertising for the gaming industry. Do we introduce a watershed period? What should we do? How should we approach this whole issue about advertising gaming on radio and television in our country?
He notes that the review will also include amendments to electronics and complaints handling. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
And tonight we continue our Port President Speaks series. As you may know, the Grand Bahama Port Authority has been the sole regulator for the Grand Bahama Power Company since its inception. Recently, the power company conducted an audit which uncovered irregularities where meters were allegedly tampered with to underread the actual usage. Well, in this report, the president of the Port Authority shares his views on the recent electricity diversion probe. Italia Hall reports.
Bahamians to own a piece of this economy and not just be workers. So we felt the urgency to get Bahamians involved in the process.
Commenting on the recent electricity diversion theft claims by the Grand Bahama Power Company, the president of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, Ian Roll, says it is unfortunate that the business owners were duped with a false product. He says he believes that officials of the Port Authority did their part to support all licensees and mediate a situation that was not a good one.
It's a shame that the licensees were duped, but the power company had nothing to do with that. The power company realized that their power was being stolen over the years, and they had to take some sort of action. And what would the power company have done to other locals who would have done illegal connections? They would have done the same thing. So the power company didn't act differently than what they would have acted for hundreds of Bahamians who were previously disconnected for the same type of action.
He adds that the Grand Bahama Power Company is willing to negotiate with consumers.
I've had meetings with them and also with certain licensees affected, and the power company is willing to work out an amicable arrangement, but we have to realize that an illegal act did happen and it must be rectified.
Roll says they are moving forward, and the port, along with the power company, are now focusing on educating customers.
If you're going to have any type of works done, renovation, new build, you should actually get a permit from the Grand Bahama Port Authority. If you go through the process that way, go through it in the right way, then some of these issues could be prevented.
Italia Hall, ZNS Network News.
In other news, Grand Bahamas Fast Ferry, the Balearia, announcing that effective May 29th, the Balearia will be relocating its passenger operations from Terminal 1 to Cruise Terminal 21 in Port Everglades, Florida. Now, according to a news release, this move will allow Balearia to be of greater service to its passengers and will provide customers with an upgraded terminal experience. Another added benefit to the relocation will be the enhanced services of the cargo department. Balearia Caribbean's cargo operations will be relocated to a warehouse, and that is located at 3300 Southwest 13th Avenue in Fort Lauderdale. Now, extending the operation hours for regular customers will take place as well. All cargo delivered to this new warehouse will be later transferred from the warehouse to the terminal for transit to Freeport. The Wame 2 will make its final voyage from Terminal 1 on Tuesday, May 28th, returning to Terminal 1 from Freeport that evening. Now, the voyage for the Wame 2 from Cruise Terminal 21, that will be on Friday, May 31st. Don't go away, there's more news right after the break.